It's deranged, royal fae. They'll act crazy all day. They'll apologize for the fail, but still scream and wail. It's deranged, royal fae. Yeah!
Why, hello there. If you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. I am Royal Fae. And if you are already subscribed or, seen my channel before, welcome back. And if you're someone who knows me and now watching this channel of videos, hi. Welcome to this part of me. I know, I keep doing this thing where I'm like, I'm going to start making a comeback. I'm going to start posting more often. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then disappearing for years. Or maybe months. Disappearing for a good long time. Yes. It's about that. So, I'm going to start off by talking about Royal Fae, myself, and this channel. Originally, I made Royal Fae when I was a minor. And I was a really, really big fan of, Emily Autumn. And Royal Fae was a persona of me in an alternate reality of Emily Autumn's making. It was my wayward Victorian self. And basically, there was, of course, two royals. There was the Victorian one, and then there was the modern one. And kind of like how Emily for Y was called Valentine. Royal was my name, Royal Fae. The deranged Royal Fae. Of course, though, those who've been here for a while know that, originally I wasn't called Royal. I was called, a feminine version. And all of these are still kind of inspired by my name. So you can call me Royal Fae. If you really wish, you can call me Maiden Fae, as I started. Or you can even call me King Fae, whichever you feel, whichever gender. I go always. Just like bipolar. I'm not making a job there for Emily Autumn of bipolar. I'll get to that stuff later. So, when I first ever made this, I was really, really, really into Emily Autumn. Don't get me wrong, I still listen to her music now, but we're gonna touch on part of this and where I'm going to lead next. And I wasn't really part of the fandom for the most part. I was terrified of fandoms because I always heard bad things about fandoms. So I was like, I'm gonna, not actively look out for the fandoms. And I did meet some good people, some who I still talk to and still game with, and honestly that's amazing. I would never have suspected. So I started with this channel and with a blog. This was my blog, and then we had the written form. Like I said, it was very much inspired by Emily Autumn. If I ever want to do song covers, it had to be Emily Autumn songs or things associated with Emily Autumn, things like that, and I would do themes. Obviously, all my theme days were all inspired by her. However, I kind of decided I want to steer away from her. But Deranged Royal Fae was developed to really help me during a time that I needed, to help me with depression, just like journaling. Whether it's put down on paper, talk to with people in real life, or me shouting into a camera at some random strangers who, for some reason, are watching me talk about things. And it helped. It actually did. It gave me something to create. It gave me something to do. It gave me inspiration to do outfits and things. And I realized I forgot a piece of makeup I was supposed to put on. My cheeks are bare. And if you've been here, I don't tend to be a fan of having my cheeks bare for some reason. I just always have to put hearts or something, or pearls. And so we got, on this side we'll have doink. Little smiley face. Oh, that's a demented little smiley face. I might have pressed that a little too hard. And a doink. This time it's going to be an upside down little smiley face because, but it's a lot less demented. at the very least. And if you're curious, my makeup is indeed half and half. I distracted myself. I was talking about Royal helped me during a time I needed them, and it really helped me with my fashion. That's why I got reminded. Emily Autumn too, technically. Like, a lot of my fashion was inspired by that, but it was always something that I found fun. Like, I think that was one of the things that attracted me to her. It wasn't just like I got into it because of her. I got into the idea of expressing it and doing it because of her. Like, I liked the bloomers and the stripes and stockings. I remember back in grade school when I wasn't really able to choose clothing for myself, and I was in private school, so I had uniforms, so it's not like I could wear my own fashion most of the time, and I really wanted to shop at Hot Topic because it was still just goth shit that time. And then by the time I was old enough for my folks to be like, yeah, you can start shopping at Hot Topic, they stopped being mostly goth stuff. But I was really into the idea of alternative fashion from a young age, and so through Emily Autumn I was able to kind of build my own thing and my own expression and my own interest in fashion and the way I interacted with it. I don't know how to do makeup. I just throw shit onto my face. I'm like, yep, this is good. Like, I don't know if you saw just how messy this is. Like, look at this shit. Like, I use my fingers to apply most of my makeup. I'm not even kidding. Lipstick's like one of the few exceptions, unless I'm putting like that glitter, additive onto it. But like my eyeshadow, whole finger. I wouldn't be surprised. No, sorry, yawning. I'm even boring to myself. But no, so it really helped me with making myself a fashion sense and finding things I find fun. Because I don't wear makeup or my outfits or anything like that for other people. I do it for myself. I do it because I like it. I do it because it's art to me. Just the way drag is art for drag kings and queens. This is art. This is my expression. This is another way for me to journal. It's fun. And it doesn't hurt anyone. So who the fuck cares? I am indeed still wearing bloomers and striped stockings though. So, in fact, I am wearing the autumn stockings. And my jewelry, some of my jewelry pieces are from the autumn. But yeah, so Royal was created during a time I was really kind of dealing with my own depression, dealing with the confusion of my depression, because I looked at myself and looked at what my sisters were going through, my family was going through, and I thought, I'm not depressed enough to be special little snowflake. Ooh, I don't deserve to be in therapy or psychiatry or, X, Y, or Z, but I still feel depressed for some reason. I'm not traumatized. I'm not being abused. Why do I feel depressed? Like my mom's back at home. She's not in the mental hospital anymore. My sisters are not in the mental hospital anymore. Why do I feel depressed? I don't deserve to feel depressed. And so I was able to get those depressive thoughts out though in journals and expression, without understanding why I was feeling the way I was still feeling. Because most of my depression that I fought when I was a kid, I thought my depression mostly was because I was bullied, I didn't have any friends at the private school, and because it's private school, you only have like one class each grade, and so I was like, oh, makes sense I'm depressed. I have no friends, I'm alone, and I'm struggling to do schoolwork because I'm an idiot. Then I found I wasn't actually an idiot, I have ADHD. And I'm potentially autistic too, so that's an interesting one. But I left my tea in the other room, didn't I? Tea has been brought back in. But yeah, it was just a matter of a lot of gaslighting, and thus Emily Autumn's music and work and art inspired me to deal with my own, and that's what I did. I was maybe 15 or 16, 17 at oldest, but I doubt it. But I was maybe 15 at youngest when I first ever made this channel. and really put myself out there and dressed however the fuck I got in not necessarily in trouble, but at one point my school thought, because of one of the outfits I wore during October, that I was a Satan worshiper, because I dressed like a demon one day in October. You know, the month of Halloween, the month of dressing up like spooks and silly things. I can understand this was my Catholic school, but this was not. And I can understand if it's any other day of the month, but this was not. And I can understand also if I had a record of being a bad kid, if I had a record of being real shitty and mean, and I was a fucking little, like, I never skipped class. I was a very good kid. I was, like, a goody two-shoes. Like, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to smoke. The only thing I did was sell cupcakes once to a fellow classmate in But yeah, so that's neither here nor there. It was just a funny little anecdote. But basically that's the birth of Royal Faye. Was hard time, youth, inspired by this artist. And now we're going to get into the rebranding. You see, I've decided, especially since Royal Faye is a very, very personal part of me now, I don't need Emily Autumn. And I don't need overwork, and I'll still listen to her music, and maybe I'll go see the musical when it comes out. If it comes out in DVD form or movie form. I don't know if I really want to see it live. But, you know, I'll still enjoy her work. I don't really want to give her any more of my money, per se. Like, I guess the closest would be just to watch the movie. In fact, we'd probably just, get it. Other ways. But, especially, like, my wanting to stay away from her is because of some problematic things she's done. Like, the BLM thing, I heard there was some drama with that, so I'm just like, ugh. But also, like, her pushing NFTs is also not cool, and other things. But that's neither here nor there. Basically, though, I want to make Royal Faye. I am reclaiming them. They are mine now. They're not Emily Autumn's, they're not the asylums. They're my own asylum. Don't get me wrong, on my door says psych ward because I think I belong in one sometimes. In fact, very recently I had planned to check myself into one, and it's still on the table. But Royal is mine. And is mine to shape now. And that's why I've rebranded some of the days. Like, Monday used to be Manic Monday, and it looked like I found something else that I used. I don't remember what it was, but I was looking at my old videos, and I saw something that was Monday, but it wasn't called Manic Monday. It was called something else, and I was like... And yeah, Manic Monday technically isn't Emily Autumn's, but I know Mania, she has bipolar, but manic depression, and so I do have associations. And there's also that song, just another manic Monday. But on the off chance that I don't have bipolar, like I suspect I might, I feel like I don't really want to use that word. And because of the song association and I decided instead we are calling this Mental Monday, because I have mental illness, and we're talking about mental health, and we're talking about what's going on in my brain, which is mental. I'm not saying it is mental, but your brain is a mental thing. You get what I'm trying to say, I hope. Tea Time Tuesday is still what it's called, but instead of it being TEA, it is T. And can still be spelled T, a parentheses, EA, Time Tuesday. But it's a number of things. Partly, like, it's a pun, to joke off of, LGBT. The T part, especially. Because I'm a trans person. And then also it can keep the tea time joke for it, because I will always have a cup of tea during Tea Time Tuesdays. Like, I just can't not. It wouldn't be Tea Time Tuesday without a cup of tea. And on top of that, it's... And that could be funny to be like, throw the tea, sis. We don't throw the tea. We don't spill the tea, sis. We throw the whole goddamn cup. I got that one from Mac Does It. Good YouTuber. I like his stuff. But because that's going to be more than just me chilling, drinking tea. Sometimes maybe. And maybe I'll do other things that I think is tea time appropriate. But it's going to be a lot of me talking about probably LGBT stuff. In fact, for our first Tea Time Tuesday back, we've got talking about asexuality, because I feel like that's underrepresented, that's misunderstood. It's just, there's a lot to unpack with that, and my own journey and exploration as someone who identifies under the ace spectrum. And then we've got Wednesday, which I love the word wayward, and so it was really hard to like let go of it. I even was like, maybe I should keep it. You know, it's not her word, but I know that in the fandom, Wayward Wednesdays was a thing, and because I feel like me getting into the word, like, I think I probably knew about the word before reading her book or hearing of her, but, like, what really got me into the word, like, hearing it normally was that book, and I was just like, I will still use the word wayward. I just feel like instead, Wednesdays are now going to be called Crafty Wednesdays, because, you know, I can work more of a theme of that. And crafty is also going to be a double entendre, where, you know, crafty like shenanigans, I'm a crafty little fairy, and so maybe I'll be doing just stupid shit, but also arts and crafts, like, I'm a crafty person of my hands and my art. So our first, our first Crafty Wednesday back will be me revisiting making fairy wings, because God, it's been ages. I think the last time I made fairy wings, I was 17. So let's break out the old shit and buy some new things, because I'm not 100% up on all my stuff. But and then now Thursdays are still rhyming Thursdays. Like, rhyming is not something she can fucking claim. So Thursdays are still rhyming Thursdays. They are still for poetry and poetry reading and all that jazz. I'll probably try doing a lot more of my own unique poems and her rereading hers, but there might be a few days where I reread hers or reread other poems that resonate with me, because it's not about her anymore. You know, I'm allowed to integrate other people's work that I really love and enjoy. Friday is no longer Flag Friday, and obviously Fight Like a Girl, the Flag album, Fight Like a Girl is also used for breast cancer, but that's not what it would mean if I kept it that way. So instead of Flag Friday or Fight Like a Girl Friday, it is now Fierce Friday. It's kind of a joke of how, like, one of my biggest inspirations for picking Fierce is because, there was one time, I think it was the Key of Awesome, made this one joke where it was like, X Factor-esque, but for like gay men, so it was called Fierce Factor, and it was like, you know, gay men competing, and as a queer person, fierce and all that jazz, I thought that would be funny to call it Fierce Friday, because I was really thinking like Fight On Friday, but I wasn't happy about that, and also like, that would have been talking about mental health stuff, and that's what I'm going to be doing on Mondays, so I decided Fierce Friday is for makeup looks and doing them in the camera. So our first Fierce Friday back, I forgot to say what the first rhyming Thursday back is going to be, so we're going to get the anticipation for Friday. Thursday, I'm going to be doing a very personal poem I wrote when I was working at the summer camp last year, which I'll be working on again, pardon me, about gender identity and my gender identity journey, and just like having decent human fucking respect for people. I know, shocking. Who would ever thought about something like that? But yeah, so I think I know what I want to do for next week. I want to talk about guilt. That's the name of the poem. But yeah, so Fierce Friday's first day back is going to be my first attempt at drag king makeup. Ooh. Sorry. Why am I such a yawny little bitch right now? Probably that sleep apnea, and I'm not good at sleeping with my CPAP nowadays. My first year on using a CPAP, I was so good, and I missed one day or 1 week because I was sick and I didn't want to put a thing on my stuffy nose. And ever since then, it's just been a slippery slope. Now on Saturdays, which are still going to be called Screaming Saturday. So Thursday and Saturday's got to keep their names. So Saturdays are going to be Screaming Saturday still, so song covers. I don't know if anyone ever knew what the joke was with me calling it Screaming Saturdays. It's because I'm such a bad singer, it feels like I'm screaming. And also because I like to do Screamo, so that's fun. I haven't done any Screamo in a time soon, but, you know, maybe one day I'll bring that into... Actually, I'm thinking I know what I want next time's Screaming Saturday to be, and that's going to be a song that has a bit of yelling I can do, so that's gonna be fun. But I'm cheating with this week's Screaming Saturday and reusing something, but I did redo the actual singing part of it, so not super cheating. But yeah, it's fun. It's very yandere-esque in nature, and it's, you know, a lot to do with how I feel about my sweetheart. It's the Sir Scampers. And then next on the chopping block, we have Sundays, which are going to be called Freak Show Sundays. It took me quite a while to realize what the fuck I wanted to call Sundays. Because I was thinking, oh, I should do streaming Sundays, because I want to start getting into streaming, both on YouTube and Twitch, and and I was like, streaming Sundays so boring. And there's like Spectacular Sundays, and I was like, that's too cheerful, that's too... But then I was like, Freak Show, because I'm putting on a show, and I'm a fucking freak, everybody. And that's okay. I'm a freak, and I am fucking proud of that. One time... Oh, God, was it freaky or creepy? One time, though, I had, like... I don't think it was, like, too bad of makeup, but I had, like, these contacts in that had, like, stars and moons in them. And, we were playing one of my stop motions. If I remember, I'll put it in the corner. And, my stop motion was pretty dark. About suicide. Using it on the album song, of course. And, I was kind of doing this silly little thing at my classmate as he looked over at me, like, kind of mortified by what he was watching, and I was just like, creepy smile, freaky smile, whatever. And this is the last day of, like, literally my entire high school life, actually. And as he walked out the door at one point, he yelled at me, "You're a fucking freak," or "You're fucking creep," or something like that. "You're fucking freaky," "You're fucking creepy." It was something along those lines. And I just yelled back, "Thank you!" Because fuck it. If I'm a freak, then I am a freak. It keeps me from having to feel like I have to be normal, you know? Like, I have to be a certain way. Nah, I can just do my own thing. As long as I'm not harming anybody. Like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm a freak. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo and a nutcase. And I embrace that. So, for the streams, it doesn't necessarily have to just be me streaming games. Though I feel like it will... Like, when I come back, I'm gonna... With my first few weeks, I'm definitely gonna be doing, like, Wildermyth. Because I fucking love that game. And I want audience participation. I want people to, like, tell me what choices to make, and if no one's there, then my only option is to say yes to everything and just see what chaos ensues. Oh god, I do enjoy that game though. So, plenty of video games, but I also do other things. Like the other day I streamed me doing voice acting. I also have now VTubes of myself, and some of my characters, so that's gonna be fun to do as well. I was looking how to rig the stuff, and, yeah, I might do tarot readings. I might just have a chill moment with me, you know, just chit chat with me. Maybe I'll do some reaction stuff, you know, whatever comes. Freak Show doesn't have to be something specific, you know, but just streaming it. I was putting on a show in front of people, live. I was talking about the idea of even doing, like, live drag shows on it, you know, so we'll see. I could do tarot readings, I can do anything that I want and put my mind to. So, all the information about rebranding out of the way, I guess it's time I caught you guys up on everything, on the important things. It's been a long fucking life, and I'm only a quarter of a century. So, looking back at Royal Fae of the past, as I mentioned in the journals and such, I would sometimes have moments of rereading their old stuff and being like, oh my god, you're annoying. Oh my god, I want to slap you. Oh my god, I can't believe you fucking said that, you know? And I don't think it was really fair of me to think that way about myself. Like, don't get me wrong, still cringy, still like, but I was learning. And I was a minor. I was a kid, you know? Like, teenagers are still kids, I'm sorry. And your brain's not usually fully developed until 25 at the youngest, you know? So it was kind of unfair of me to, like... The thing is, I'm starting to learn you can't really dwell on the past. You can't really dwell on a lot of things. The only thing you can do is learn from it and move forward. Use the information you got from whatever fuck up or whatever X, Y, or Z and just go with it. Maybe someone went right, so you want to do that kind of thing from now on. That's what I've learned. I'm trying to keep into my life, and I'm trying to be a lot better about communication, because it's funny, I say, oh, I'm shitty at communication. Oh, while communicating to the world my problems. I'm shitty at communication when it comes to my romantic partners. And that's on me. I don't know how much people know. I don't know how much people care. I've been into polyamorous relationships since like 2014, 2015. And, a year ago, I ended seeking out polyamory and ended my relationship with my two partners who I was with for about 3 years by that point, and I'm still living with those two. But I decided I want monogamy with my sweetheart, the person who gave me these two guys. And it's been a bumpy journey, bumpy road, for so many reasons, because I feel fucking guilt towards them. I feel awful. I care so much, and knowing how hard it is for one of them to have even said the words "I love you" to any new partners, and the fact that she was saying that to me, and then I like broke her fucking heart, and I could feel the walls she has up around me. It's been a journey, and I can't even blame her for that, you know. And so shortly after I had ended things, I immediately went to a summer camp, which was an incredibly stressful experience, especially in the beginning. I had so many times like, I'm going to leave early, I'm going to leave early, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. But it was for a very good cause. I'll get to the summer camp later. And I was there for 3 months, from like June to August, you know. And then I came back, and shortly after, a couple weeks after I came back, I went to the UK for 6 months. And that's where I've been. I just got back in mid-February. And the trip in the UK was a lot. My sweetheart has lost their father as of 2020, December 2020, when I first went to go visit him in the UK. The plan was, you know, because of COVID and quarantine, I spend 2 weeks with him in a nice little cottage a few hours away from where he lives, and then we go back to his city and meet the family, and I spend the rest of my trip that way. Halfway into me supposed to be quarantining in the cottage, exactly a week after I've landed, his father has a heart attack, and not too long after that, so we packed up and left the next morning, and bless the heart of the Airbnb owner, we refunded us a week. But yeah, so not long after that, his father passes, and he's so very close with his parents. They mean the fucking world to him. He lives with them still, like most people still live with their family in our generation. And he's always struggled with depression and anxiety and things like that. Just never really wanted to face it. Doesn't journal, doesn't talk about his emotions. And I've been slowly but surely breaking him out of that. But it hit him so goddamn hard. And I've done my best to be as supportive I could, while also struggling so badly with my own mental health. Because what I did last year, I still feel lots of intense guilt for, and have been even feeling suicidal thoughts for self-harm thoughts for. And so struggling with my own issues while also having to be there for his issues, because even a year later, he was still struggling these last 6 months, because just his world completely turned upside down when he lost his father. His mom's world completely turned upside down when they... And so, struggling with my issues, and him struggling with his, and then me just struggling to be someone that's worth being accepted by society and other partners' families and things. I'm this kind of enigma. His mom's from, an Asian country, and she's, her generation, and it's a little... I'm a bit of a abnormality in her life, and there's been some bumpy roads with that, and apparently, I guess she's not a huge fan of me. Like, she'll be very fucking nice to my face, and we cook, and she says I love you, and I say I love you to her, and so it kind of feels super fucking ingenuous when I start hearing the things that she actually says about me. And she's actually broken my trust really recently, near the end of the trip, and apparently was super, super judgmental when I told her I used to be non-monogamous, and I gave that all up for my sweetheart. Apparently, she was so disappointed in her son for pursuing me. Or, he didn't pursue me, I pursued the fuck out of him. Worst part is, I told her this in response to her saying that I deserved better than him. Like, she said that to me herself, that she's like, I could never date someone like that. I could never be with a man like that. Like, you deserve better than this. You need to find yourself better than him. And, like, I was frustrated, so I didn't necessarily disagree, but I was just like, well, I want you to know I gave up my other 2 partners for him. I gave up healthy, loving relationships, because I believe he's worth it. And I still want to believe he's worth it. I know he's just going through a hard time right now. I fucking am too. And that was the same night I also confided in her that I was feeling suicidal, that I was planning on checking myself into a mental hospital not long after I returned to the States, So it was kind of just like, and then she went, and I told her that I would be telling my sweetheart myself about my suicidal thoughts and all that jazz. And the next day she tells him, and apparently she's incredibly upset over the non-monogamy thing. Just fucking get over it. What does it fucking matter to you? Like, I want to also point out that, first, without sin, throw stones, how she's confessed that she used to be a really big bully back in the past when she was a kid, and she would beat the shit out of another kid. I don't think my past that is not a norm, just because it's not a norm in society, should be seen as worse than someone who used to beat the shit out of someone. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I don't know. I feel like you don't get to judge me harshly for that when you've kind of done worse. Yeah, I can use the excuse that she was a kid, sure. But I don't know. I'm not harming anyone. I wasn't harming anyone. And besides, relationships were mostly just romantic than sexual. Like, you'll get into my sexuality video if you watch it tomorrow. But just, like, most part, sex isn't a big part of my relationships aside of my sweetheart, So, call me a slut if you want. I'm a slut for love. But no, I've given up non-monogamy because I realized what I want is monogamy with my sweetheart. And so there was, bumping of heads every now and then with the mom. And really what broke my trust was her telling him about my suicidal thoughts. Because that was for me to tell. That was my responsibility. And she robbed me of that. And when I told her I would be telling him, it made me so fucking... It just wasn't fair. It wasn't her right. Yeah, sure, she can complain about the non-monogamy thing. Fine, whatever. But that was my responsibility. He should have heard that from me. It is what it is. So, butting of heads happened with both her and, of course, my sweetheart. Don't get me wrong, it was not a terrible trip, because I had a good time. I got to go to this place called Ghetto Golf, and I really enjoyed that, actually. And I got to go out with my sweetheart. We got to actually go on dates, because we didn't really get to do that first time because COVID, and I love being with my sweetheart. Yeah, things get hard. We're both struggling, we're both working shit out. But fuck, I love him. It was just, I could not do that same trip over again. Not until we've gone to therapy or figured things out. It's so hard to get therapy in the UK. I feel so bad. I wish there was something I could do to help him get a therapist for cheaper, at least, because it sounds like it fucking costs a lot to have private insurance. I'm currently on my state's version of Medicaid. Basically, I have free health insurance because I'm unemployed. And as soon as I got back from the States, I found out I lost my insurance. My family lost their insurance. I'm like, well, I mean, guess that works out. I was about to lose it come my upcoming birthday in July. So, better sooner than later, right? And actually, I get everything for fucking free. So, like, I almost wish I had taken up on the benefits sooner. And it gets rid of I just changed my PCP or GP because she had been screwing me over on trans healthcare for such a long fucking time that I was just like, I'm done. And she made my mom cry. For unrelated reasons to what I was just talking about. Like, I was upset with how she was treating me. But then when I found out that she fucking brought my mom to tears, I was like, bitch gotta go. No. Not happening. Nope. But yeah. So, I couldn't do that trip again the same. I have a therapy appointment and a psychiatry appointment coming up. It wouldn't have happened by the time this video goes up. And those won't have happened by the time this video goes up. So we'll just see. I've had a psychiatrist now for a long time, but I stopped really seeing a therapist come like 2018, 2017, and never should have stopped. The reason why I'm getting a new psychiatrist is because the mental health people part of my insurance did a screening for me, and they're like, so what you currently have is mild to moderate care. What you need is high risk care. Not long after I got back here, I threw all my sharp objects and my medication and my lighters, and I threw them into a lockbox, handed them off to my roommate, and handed her the key and said, keep these away from me. Don't let me know where they are. Don't let me see you put them away. And every Sunday, if you can bring it out so I can refill my pills for the week, I need it. And it's probably a good thing, because one of those days after that, I had found that I missed a pair of scissors. I took the opportunity. Immediately when I was done, I went and put it on her dresser and said, with a note saying, add to the lockbox. So, with transitioning, I don't know how many people know this, I was on testosterone for 2 years. I started 2019, December 2019, and then come December 2020, January of 2021, I got off of it for the most part. There were so many fucking reasons why. I mean, when I went to go visit the UK, it was really hard to get, like, a refill long enough for it, so it was just complicated. And so I kind of ran out when I was there. Pardon me, that's the chair, not my bowels. And then when I got back, I was kind of questioning, well, how much do I actually want to go with this? I'm non-binary, and then, like, as much as I'd love to have a lower, more passable range, I am definitely terrified of losing too much of my high range, because I use it a lot. It's very useful to me for a number of reasons, not just for like talking or acting or things like that, because I do voice acting, but also for singing. Boy puberty got me so many voice cracks. Oh my boy. But yeah, so I got, and also because it was just fucking frustrating because of that doctor I mentioned earlier. Sometimes I would have to pay out of pocket for my appointments because she would screw me over, and thus I would owe, they would at face value be $150, and then apparently the total has come up to about like $400 for an appointment. That should have been like $30. Thanks, doc! But yeah, so there's just so many things that are frustrating about, because my also the doctor is, my endocrinologist was like a 2-hour drive away. So thank goodness for COVID and video chats, right? Not thank goodness for COVID. Thank goodness for normalizing dying, apparently. And coughing. For normalizing telehealth stuff like video chats and phone calls for appointments. So I got off it. At some point in March, I'm now back on it, but instead of doing gel, I'm doing shots. So I do shots once a week. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I'm in my leg. I shoot myself in the leg. I mentioned a summer camp before. Last year I worked at a summer camp, and I've realized something about myself. I do not do well with drastic fucking changes, like overnight drastic changes. Which is funny, because this always happens to me whenever I go back and forth to the UK, because I will stay there for months. Like, I stayed there for half a year, because legally I couldn't stay any longer. But it stresses me out to go there and then come back, because I'll be so used to my new, way of life, and then just to come back and just be like, or just to leave and be like, oh my god, everything's gonna change again, and so going to the camp, it's in the middle of a fucking valley. You have to drive all the way down to the actual camp, so you've got hills and trees and shit. And so it's very isolating. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no service. You have to hike quite a bit to get to the service. And the technically is Wi-Fi, but it's my first night. I ended up, the bus to take my group ended up being hella fucking late, and so we get there in the dark, and they're like, yeah, normally we just do the tour and such, but, it's late, so we're gonna take you to the dining hall, we're gonna show you what your room is, have you go eat at the dining hall, and then you can go to bed, because it's so fucking late. So I'm laying there in bed, or laying there, maybe sitting, and I fucking burst out into tears. I'm having a fucking panic attack. I'm like, I shouldn't have done this, I'm so nervous. I was having that kind of thought of, I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I'm not ready for this, like the entire bus ride. It's a 4-hour bus ride. 4-hour bus rides from one city to the actual camp. And then I'm sitting in bed like, oh my god, I don't think I should be here. I can't call anyone, I can't text anyone, I don't even know where the lead people are, I don't know who to talk to. And I'm just, I'm on my ass, I'm writing a letter in the dark to my roommates being like, I'm so sorry, Jen, I'm gone, I need to go back to you guys, Luckily, my roomie, I'm gonna call them my roomie, so you can differentiate between my camp roomie and my actual at-home roommates. My roomie was wonderful. They heard me at one point, and they're like, hey, are you okay? And, like, do you need me to, like, hug you? Do you need anything? Like, you can talk to me as much as you need to, and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful roomie. They were also non-binary, so I started jokingly calling, our little cabin was called the Gloss House, so I jokingly called it the non-binary house, and we were joking that we were gay exiled, because we were on the edge of the fucking camp. It was a decent walk to where I worked in the camp and my cabin, so we were joking that we had gay exile. I told them I was fine with rooming with anyone, as long as my roommates were fine with rooming with someone who's, like, between male and female, because, I'm not perfectly either or physically anymore, and yeah. Like, as long as the guys don't mind that I have tits, or the girls don't mind that I have, things, I don't care who I'm roomed with. So we'll see what they room me this year. But yeah, it was a stressful experience. I was burning out so easily, and there was just so many emotions going around me because of the breakup just happening and missing my sweetheart, and just it was just really easy to get over emotional things because I was able to still get in contact with people. I would make that hike every fucking day. I would make it on my days off and stay there for like almost all day with a little picnic set up, and then I would make it on my breaks just to have a little chit chat, just to say goodnight to my sweetheart, you know, because time zone, 8-hour difference. And things were very easy to get emotional about. And I was able to do my job, no problem. I never felt physically exhausted. I would be like emotionally exhausted, like almost 24/7. But like I could make that hike. I would not get exhausted. I would be like, yeah, I can fucking do it. Like I can do it again. I sometimes did it twice a day. But it was just like, yeah, it was what it was. And I kept on wanting to quit early because I was feeling stress and this and that. But it was for a good cause. Like most of the kids that are coming there are from like poor families or from families that are under the poverty line or from like not great neighborhoods and such. And so the camp was a safe space for them. And it was giving back to the community because these, you know, it was just, I felt like I had to stay. And a lot of the people were leaving early for other reasons, some being fired and some being, you know, stressed or X, Y, Z or just things, you know. And so I was like, I have to stay. I'm the only laundry person. I was the laundry goblin, and I need to make sure my goblin cave is not going to get fucked up by my person who did my days off. Oh, I hope they're not going to be my person that gets my days off this year. I'm going back this year. I know you're going to be like, but you want to be more active on updates, and now you're going to go to somewhere without internet? I will still try my best. We are actually going to be allowed to go to town this year, unlike last year because of COVID reasons. So hopefully I'll be able to get internet and Wi-Fi, and I also know that, you know, I can always go up the hill and upload things. So it'll probably be shorter videos if possible. Knowing me, I can't shut up. You can't get me to shut up. I wish I could. I really do. ADHD, baby. So, this year, coming back in March, or came back at the end of February, and like as soon as I get back, my mom just like who picked me up from the airport just kind of trauma dumped so much shit on me. Like losing my insurance for one, but then like a lot of other things. So March comes around, and I'm hardly leaving my room. I'm mostly asleep half the time. I'm not eating much. I'm missing dosages, things like that. And I think at the beginning of March, I was telling my psychiatrist my concerns that I have a borderline disorder or a personality disorder, especially like, did I say borderline? I meant bipolar. And or borderline, you know, or a different personality disorder like dependent or obsessive. And so she decided to take me seriously and prescribed me mood stabilizers, which are good for bipolar and can be good for people with borderline. So I've been on those, and I do think they've been helping because I've left the room. That's an improvement. And I also got the lockbox, so. But yeah, so we've upped my dosage on mood stabilizers again, so we'll see if the higher dosage helps more. Funny enough, shortly after, like, or between appointments with her, I had what felt like a manic episode. I just started, like, walking in circles. So, like, the way my kitchen is set up, and dining room and living room, like, it's mostly an open space. There's kind of like a wall and, like, archways, but not actually any doors. So I was just walking in circles in and around the kitchen over and over again, and my roommates didn't take notice to it at first, because sometimes I put on music, and I just do my thing. But after, like, the 5th circle, they're like, okay, what's up? I'm losing my mind. No, I think I'm having mania. You know, I felt like I was gonna go crazy. I thought my head was gonna explode. I've been better by taking ADHD meds on the daily, and things like that, because I want to work on my impulsivity. And recently, at the end of March, beginning of April, I might have done some stupid things and gotten involved with someone I shouldn't have. My sweetheart and I talked about opening up to non-monogamy, and it sounded like anything was fair game, so one of my roommates, who is also my ex, got involved with someone, and it's kind of a mix of things that end up happening. This giant fucking train wreck where, you know, I've been trying to figure out how I feel towards my roommates, if I want to be with them again or what. And I guess to get close to my roommate again, I got close to her partner. With her consent. And things just kind of, I guess, I slept with the partner, and I regret it, and I didn't tell my sweetheart right away that it happened, but my sweetheart also was not giving me much to work with. It's just like, yeah, anything's fine, you know, go, I want you to have some, kept on saying, I want you to have someone there for you, I want you to have a body there, I want, and so I thought, okay, fair game, anything's okay. I told him I would communicate what I was doing, but there's so many reasons I put it off, and they sound like excuses, and they mostly, I guess, are. But weirdly enough, I came to the realization now that, I know it's almost been a month. No, it has been more than a month now. I've only had alone time with her twice. I've only been alone with her twice. But I've come to realize definitely was not going to be compatible in the long run. Not romantically, not sexually, especially not the emotional stuff. I also have realized I don't think I'd even like her as a one-on-one friend. Like, she'd be someone I'd be friends in a friend group with, but like, I don't think she's someone I'd actively go hang out with on our own, just the two of us. And that's okay. That's not a judgment at her. Though I've noticed this particular ex-roommate / roommate, not ex-roommate, she's still my roommate, has a thing for bad girls. And I worry that they're a bad influence on her. Like, I know she loves the thrill. Like, that's, I think, what really she likes. And I don't think she would ever really see her partners as bad girls. I would say the only one that's not current, that she currently has, is, you know, my other ex and her current girlfriend, or the other person that lives with us, and she's like the super big sweetheart. She's just so adorable. Like, I just want to protect. But I worry. I do know that this current partner said some very controversial things. And then, like, I don't judge anyone for smoking pot or weed. You do you. You're not harming anyone. I didn't need to do that. I'm not really comfortable being around that kind of scene. This person's a huge pothead. And I'm not for it. I'm not even crazy about being around people who are drunk for the most part. At least if I'm not drunk as well. But, like, I don't drink often. I have a complicated relationship with alcohol. Mostly stemming from family and family trauma. But yeah, there's just some things that I'm like, yeah, I don't vibe with that. I don't even think, like, the only friend group I feel like I would ever hang out with her in is the, you know, the current household / polycule. Other than that, I don't think I would vibe very well with the friends I know she has that, like, on her server and such. I'm just like, that's not my crowd. But yeah, I'm not gonna say any details of some of the things she said. But yeah, it is what it is. But I fucked around and I found out. I'll talk a little bit about it in the asexuality video. And, my actions hurt my sweetheart. My main thing, though, is I felt like I betrayed myself with the whole thing, because I knew I was being stupid and impulsive, and that to me was, like, kind of a sign that I was sort of feeding off the mania or things like that, and I never should have engaged. It was stupid, and I'm paying the consequences, but it is what it is. My sweetheart and I are still together, and I think we both kind of realized, yeah, we both should step away from the non-monogamy idea. We're not ready for a number of reasons. We're both getting over each other. like losing each other, and so it would be almost like the equivalent of a rebound. And I think that's kind of what happened for me, because you just so desperately want the affections and physical touch of each other, so you seek it out in someone else, and then you don't have genuine feelings for that person. I was not going through any NRE. I wasn't feeling any high with them. I was just going through the fucking motions. And I'm worried he would do the same, make the same mistake I was, and that whoever he was involved with would get attached for real, and he would hurt them, or maybe hurt himself, or not feel like he can break things off because you feel guilty about that. I've been there. Not in this situation, but and I even warn the person. Any moment, like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I think I might want to leave this, or, you know, if my partner asks me to leave you, I will. You know, things like that. Because it's like, my bond with someone who I've been with for nearly 3 years now is going to be way more important than someone I've known for like a week or two. My partner asked me to leave them because they felt uncomfortable. That's fucking fair. I'm not going to risk the relationship that I know I want to have with someone I hardly fucking know. Like, so I warned them, like, I don't want to hurt you, you know. And they're like, it's okay, you can't hurt me. I was like, okay, that's how you feel. But yeah, I've caught myself wanting to self-harm in certain ways other than just, you know, knives and flames, where I want to find excuses to drink alcohol. I ate an entire weed cookie that was very strong, so strong that my roommate, who will occasionally do the weeds, she could only do half at a time. I ate the entire fucking thing, and I had an awful fucking trip. Like, oh my god. I just kept on checking my heart rate because I know it had bad interactions with one of my meds that slows down my heart, and that weed could slow it down further. So I was just like, the entire fucking, and I could not tell what was real. I couldn't tell what I actually was saying, or I was not able to keep thoughts in my head. They just came right out to my mouth. And I feel bad for my roommate because she had to babysit me, and just the entire time, I'm just like, did I actually say that? Did I say that out loud? Did I say it? Just constantly the entire fucking night, and she could just feel me go, because we were like laying next to each other at one point, and just over and over again. I hated every moment of that experience. It was fucking awful, and I never wanted it again. Well, no, I say I never want it again. But the self-harm part of my brain is like, do it fucking again. Do it again. Do it. I'm like, no, we're not self-harming here. And I did try again, because like as you might have noticed, I'm not a fan of weed. I'm not against people who use it if it helps you what you need, whatever. It doesn't harm anyone. I'm as against weed as I am against alcohol, you know. Except I guess weed's less damaging than alcohol, because alcohol fucks up your liver. But I tried again at a normal dosage, and just to see if maybe I'm just writing it off too easily, because, you know, I overdosed. No, I don't like the sensation of being high. I don't. Just like I don't like the sensation of being drunk. Like, I do not like that feeling, the buzz that everyone wants. Not fun. I don't like it. I don't get why people like it, but I get that we all are different. It reminds me of when I'm about to pass out and have a seizure-like episode, and that's a terrifying fucking experience. So, I don't like that sensation. I feel like that's fucking valid, not to like the feeling of being buzzed. And it's hilarious, because people would look at me and look at, like, how I dress and what I wear, and they'd assume, like, I have tattoo, you know, I have piercings, and, you know, people would assume that I'm, you know, doing drugs and drinking and stealing and smoking and going to parties or clubs, and fuck that. I am, like, sober. I don't touch anything that's not prescribed to me or is, like, you know, something I get, like, painkillers or whatever. I don't like leaving my house, let alone my room. Other way around, I don't like leaving my room, let alone my house. I'll go out for people I like, don't get me wrong, like, my sweetheart, my friends, my roommates, I'll go out with them, I'll go to the movies, whatever. But a club, I'm nervous. I still need to get myself to the gay club eventually, but, like, I'm a homebody. I like sitting at home watching YouTube. Like, this is another thing about, like, me doing my makeup for me. I'm hardly going out. You think I'm doing makeup for other people? Like, people assume I do this for attention. And I'm like, really? I don't. I do it, and then I forget that it draws attention, and then so when people start giving me attention, I'm just like, no, fuck. I live in a conservative area now. But yeah, I'm a boring person, and I'm okay with that. Like, cool. Like, yeah, you do your drugs, you do your clubs, have fun, just don't hurt anyone. What do I care? But I do worry about, like I mentioned, my ex's type of bad girls, and I do feel like they kind of encourage her in some dangerous behaviors. She hasn't done anything. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating or worrying too much, but I worry. I worry about her. I still care so much about both my roommates, so I worry, and I worry. I guess I caught you up on most of the stuff. That's right, I wanted to show. I'm trying to get back into journaling and planners and such. I started last year, and then I got really bad about it, but I'm gonna put stickers on. I'm just waiting for specific ones that show up, but I get to like completely customize this as much as I want. It comes undated, so you can start it whenever, and then if you miss a month, you just don't fill in that month. So like, for example, here's April month I started, and I got all like my stickers and, you know, appointments and things like that, and then I got like this week's stuff and all that jazz. I put when I sleep, I put when I eat, and things like on that jazz, what my habits are, all that things, and I really enjoy it. Oh, kind of. And I have a reminder on my phone to remind me to journal every 6 hours or so, 4 hours. I have the thing for every 6 hours for my medication. Every 4 hours, I think, the journaling. Because, you know, quarter of the day, yeah, kind of thing. Because my sleep schedule is odd as hell. I have no sleep schedule. I just sleep. I just, whenever it happens, whenever it comes upon me. Sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, editing Royal here. Something I forgot to mention to relate back to how I was saying how I really needed Royal Fae in the past. I really need them now more than ever to do something, to be productive, to work on the projects of these videos. Obviously in my other work, like my other artist hobbies and such, I am still working and doing progress there, but those can be very overwhelming and stressful for me right now. Even voice acting's been hard for me to do, whether it's for others or my own projects. And so now more than ever, I need to be productive on Royal Fae. I need to do this as a coping. And yeah, I just thought it was important for me to say after everything I've already said. Thank you.
And I guess that's it for my deranged little update. Now we're coming upon the suggestions area. Now, if there's anything you guys would like me in particular to say or do, I have a list of song ideas that I want to do for my next few Screaming Saturdays. I will post that into the Screaming Saturday description, and I'll hopefully post this in the Rhyming Thursday suggestion about which of my poems themes that you might want to have me read. So like, I think I'm gonna do the guilt one next week, but like, or next upload, but like, if there's any others you guys would be like, ooh, more LGBT, or ooh, more depression, the one about, like, you know, how you struggle with like family, you know, big sibling syndrome, etc. I'm not the big sibling, but if you guys want me to do videos of me doing tarot reads, etc., I'm open to suggestions. If there's any kind of like looks you want me to inspire, like any, like I had fun. I did this like mermaid inspired ones. If you guys want to see some of my TikTok videos too, I got on TikTok. Took me forever, right? But yeah, suggestion, things like that. I'm open. I want to explore more with this. I want to do more. I want to be better, and I want to have engagement with the audience and things like that. So have at me. Also, the reason why my new icon has the rainbow hair is a number of reasons. A, my hair is constantly fucking changing. B, my next hair colors will be the rainbow. I'll be getting it done the day before camp. But yeah, so that's Deranged Royal Fae for ya. I don't know if there's much more for me to say. God, I've been rambling for over an hour now. Of course, because you gotta get all that things catched up, right? I'll put timestamps so you can skip over this shit if you don't want to listen or whatever. I'll try to put timestamps for certain topics I'm talking about, but I doubt it. You get a timestamp for, like, the intro, you get the timestamp for, like, what Deranged Royal Fae is, you get the timestamp for rebranding, and me just talking about my shit, and suggestions, and the outro, but to actually do the topics within my, like, update, probably not going to happen. All the same. If I could stop yawning, that would be fabulous. All the same, thank you for watching. You've been wonderful as always. Hope you check out some of the later videos this week. And I hope you will have a gay day.
Well, they're glad that you stayed, yet you wasted yet another day. Their videos are a bore, but they've got lots more in store. It's Deranged Royal Fae. Yeah.